Previously on Follow the Leader.
Today we're playing I'm Sorry, Did You Say Street Magic by Caro Assertion. For those of you who are new to this game, here are the basics. I'm sorry, did you say street magic? I can't help it, I want to do it every time.
I love how proud of yourself you were.
I'm Sorry, Did You Say Street Magic is a city-building story game. We take turns exploring our city. By the end of the game, we will have created a place that none of us could have imagined alone. Our agenda as players is to create a vibrant and multifaceted city, to fill that city with life and personality, and to expand on each other's ideas together. I'm Mac. You can find me on Twitter at Citadel of Swords.
Hi, I'm Caro. You can find me at Sea Excursion, spelled S-E-A Excursion, on Twitter, Patreon, and itch.io.
My name is Mab. You can find me on Twitter and Tumblr at Little Lady Mab.
And hi, I'm Sam. You can find me on Twitter at SAKlo.
So the first part of creating our city is establishing its tone, the color and texture of the setting we want to explore. As a table, let's decide on 3 adjectives that will set the mood of our city.
So it sounds like we're leaning toward, is this kinetic, warm, and either bright or airy? Was that correct?
Bright.
Let's go with
Bright?
bright, yeah.
Let's go with bright. I have a pitch, because I feel like we haven't done this in a while on this show. Urban fantasy?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah.
We now return to your game already in progress.
All right.
Mab, hit us with this event.
Let's go with an event. Well, you know what any good theme about fashion has to have?
A fashion show?
Yeah, fashion
Yeah.
Oh!
Yes.
Oh, let's go.
Do this shit.
Fashion Week, baby. So, obviously, the Braided Path is a hustle and a bustle little hive of activity, because everyone's coming to get the last-minute finishing touches or just the right fabric. The docks are going to be busy because everyone's coming in from across the shore with their own fabrics, and so on and so forth. And let's get started. What is happening in Fashion Week? Just everything.
What is hip-hop happening?
So yeah, I think it's probably, I don't know if it's in the bones of the Donnybrook, or if it has its own little setup, because I also kind of like the image of it passing through through the garden as like the catwalk type of thing, or like even through Twilight Market. It's just like all over the city.
Is it like a parade?
Yeah, I like that. It's kind of like the Rose Parade, but for fashion.
Ooh.
And so, now I'm just thinking about marching bands. Yeah, that's what's happening first is the Fashion Week. The Fashion Week parade.
Mm.
And so I think like each day it goes through like a different part of the city. Since it's an entire week, why not?
Very good, very good.
Oh, is it my turn first to be the voice of the...
Yeah.
I'm forgetting turn order, I'm sorry. I was like waiting for somebody else to go because it's just like, this rules. I want to ask, is any, the kind of thing is like thinking about, equity and stuff again, is like, who is able to participate in this parade? Is it all of the is it like anybody who wants to, or is it like high flying, like the kind of like couturiers type of stuff? Does that make sense?
Is that a rhetorical question, or you're asking?
I don't know. I guess it's open ended. It could be answered, or it could be like a question, even in the city, of like who is participating in this.
I've got maybe not a full answer, but part of an answer to that. With showcasing a consequence, I think that as the parade is going through the garden, it starts out with a lot of kind of high couture, with folks who are, paid their registration fees and filed and tried to get everything kind of in order for kind of the formal parade. But as the formal parade kind of is continuing, I think there's, a couple werewolves who are showing up, like really well dressed, and then a couple more, and more, and I think the den has shown up in full force.
Oh, bless them.
Full fashionable force.
Full fashionable force with these just stunning plant-based, like flower-based,
Yes.
vegetation-based outfits. Like it looks like, oh, this is a dress that's made out of, sunflowers, or there's plants that are actually growing that are braided together or woven together, and it's like, oh, I think a lot of people, they think there's some sentiment in the city that people didn't necessarily consider, that a lot of the members of the den have an eye for aesthetics. Most of this time they spend their time tending the gardens, but no, they have like a really good...
They've been paying attention.
They've been paying attention, and they have a really good sense of fashion, and they have a really good sense of, which plants look good together and go together, and how to tailor that to an outfit just as well as a garden.
Excellent. That's what I was hoping for. Yes.
Fuck yes.
Mac.
So I'm thinking about a consequence, which is I'm thinking about a trend that gets really popular in the city as a result of this fashion show. And I am wondering, I would like to open it up to the floor, because I have a lot of ideas banging around in my head, and I can't put a finger on any of them to put them into words. So if anyone has an idea of something a little different that could become a popular trend following this fashion show.
My mind, unfortunately, went somehow to Tamagotchis.
Oh my god.
How did that?
I don't know how.
How did it get to Tamagotchi?
I don't know. I was thinking about technology, and then somehow I just started thinking about Tamagotchis.
Oh my god. I
It's
love
good.
it. Is it like, how like there's digital fabric where it's like, oh, you
Right.
can
Yeah.
show the pixels?
Ooh.
Is it like virtual
I think,
clothes?
I'm just imagining, some, little kid in, elementary school, because that's when, they were popular, is just, playing with their Tamagotchi on their skirt, and it's just, feeding their Tamagotchi, during class, just on their skirt.
Mm-hmm.
Teacher's gonna hate it, but,
It starts raining and you pull on a poncho, and the poncho has little pixels of rain that are also falling down as well.
Or you have, your little digital garden on your poncho, and now you can water your plants.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I love this.
This is good.
I want this fashion.
I do love this idea of this animated virtual clothing.
It's really good.
It's really, really good.
Mab, I think you close out the event.
Yeah. All right. Hold on a second. There we go. Let's see. I think just kind of the way. I mean, part of the way that it's changed is that fashion itself has changed, because originally the braided path was where you would go for all of your fabric and fashion needs, and now everyone's just like, oh, but wait, the garden, or oh, but wait, the Magic Tech Plaza can also help us with that. And so it's just the way that that has been extended. And I think especially in the garden itself, And so the way that the neighborhood, or the way that the city has changed, is I've gone ahead and added another true name to the garden, and that's the perfect bloom for every occasion.
Oh, I love that.
And then the second half of the event is that emergence of fashion subcultures from magitech to floral.
I love that.
It's now my turn.
Yeah. How are we feeling? Are we feeling good? Do we want to keep going?
I am ready to continue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were saying before, Kara, when you stepped off mic, that we'll close out with Sam's round.
That makes sense.
Perfect, yeah.
If we are closing out with this round, sometimes when I play, I like to let the last compass be kind of a free-for-all, but if you've got a particular compass in mind, Sam...
I mean, I was thinking about, like, something like, you know, finding the light in the darkness, like, or, like, finding the...
Kingdom Hearts. Kingdom Hearts.
Kingdom Hearts.
Okay, first of all, I've never played a
Fucking
Kingdom Hearts game
Hearts.
before, so I don't know if that's a thing. Like, I was thinking about our,
That's the theme of the whole franchise.
Fuck. Okay, well, I was thinking about...
No, we can still
That's
do
why
it.
Kales and I are always joking about it.
I was thinking about So Below, and thinking about how, like, dark good, light bad type stuff, but also, I don't mind making it just a free-for-all.
I mean, that's a very broad theme, or, like, it's a theme that could be interpreted in a lot of different ways.
So, yeah, I think that works pretty well as kind of a free-for-all sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I get to go first, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you do.
I mean, like, the obvious choice for me to start with is going with the Twilight Market and thinking about, you know, the kinds of vendors that only exist during the nighttime in the Twilight Market. Like, that's when all the fucking, like, the vampires come out and do their selling stuff.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I was literally just thinking to myself, why have we not put vampires into this
Yeah,
world?
just thinking about, like, the kinds of, like, vampire artisans. I guess this would maybe be a landmark. Would it be do you think I should introduce a specific character, or do a landmark with that?
Sam.
You're asking me to put Garion in here,
Just-
I know. I mean, Garion, but the thing is that Garion needs to go in the Braided Path more than in...
I was like, yeah.
More than in the Twilight Market.
Yeah, fair enough. You can do whatever you want. It was just a thought.
I mean, it still applies,
Yeah.
because, like, you know, Garion would be an after dark
Type of character, yeah. Sure, I'll put him
Yeah.
into the Braided Path. Character. Oh, gotta put that in all caps.
Garion's here now.
Garion's here now.
Yeah!
Yeah.
I think that means that Ruben has to be here too.
I love that they're tied up like that now.
Garion is the only person that Ruben trusts with that
I
code.
love it. Oh, it's so good. I mean, Ruben obviously lives in the garden.
Yeah. No, wait, hold on a second. No.
Ruben doesn't live with the other werewolves?
No. Too much risk of blowing up the plants.
Oh no, the plants!
I bet they tried and they got
Yeah,
kicked out.
for sure. Pronouns is he, him. I mean, if we want to play out a little vignette of a scene as...
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I was like, we can just do this.
you know, Garion bustling around his little shop as the sun starts going down. Garion is, as a character, a lot of my intent with him as being a tailor has always been, he's a tailor who, for those of you who haven't listened to our previous episodes, and for Caro, for the audience and for Caro, if you haven't listened to the episodes that Garion was in.
For people who have no context for Garion.
So Garion is a character I invented many, many years ago, but in this setting, as a tailor, he's very about, like, adaptive tailoring, about creating clothing to fit the particular needs of a particular person. And when that comes to, like, fantasy settings, it's very much about, like, okay, so you have wings, how are we gonna adapt your clothing to make it so you can put it on and off without, like, destroying it? Or, okay, so you've got a tail, which means that there needs to be a hole in the back of your pants, but also we don't want your pants to fall down. So how does that work? You know, all this sort of, like, a very, like, he's like an adaptive tailor for non-humans, and he's, like, 400 years old, but he looks like 21. Nah, fuck it. He looks like 19 still. He's
a
a baby, but he's like a old baby.
He's like young by vampire standards,
Yeah.
but like looks very, very young by like not
Yeah.
vampire standards.
Old baby is one of his true names now.
There we go.
And yeah, so you just, as a vignette, I get.
I would love if there was someone else in the shop when Ruben comes in. If someone else would like to be in the shop when Ruben comes in, please.
Would anybody else like to play a character who's already in the shop?
Or the world. I don't care.
Yes. I think you just got, like, you'll have, like, a tiny, like, not a tiny, but, like, a fairly, like, petite little imp just kind of, like, browsing around, and a customer that you have had in before, but she is also very persnickety, and is coming back because it didn't work last time, and I'm here to get it fixed again, and she's just waiting for you to fix it. Like, obviously, right now.
What is she trying to get fixed?
Just, like, a dress that had been tailored previously.
That she, like, doesn't like the hemline of anymore, or, like...
Yeah,
Yeah.
it just doesn't agree with her.
Okay. You know, so Garion's probably doing, like, a couple of, like, little, like, you know, he's pinning stuff and showing it to her in the mirror, and then, like, pinning stuff again differently because she didn't like it that time, you know.
Yeah, she doesn't, she'll just kind of like, and you're like, oh, that she does not like this.
You know, making continued adjustments.
This is just like not gonna pan out in the way that I want it to. Caro, do you have any details you'd like to add?
I would love to know, like, what is there a particular type of fabric that Garion has on display? Are there, you know, patterns or colors that he kind of tends to draw to in his sensibility?
He tends to draw from a lot of jewel tones. He really likes the, like, very, like the, like, bright but deep type of jewel tones. And the kind of... He's a big fan of, like, picking colors adaptive for the lighting. One of my favorite concepts is, like, if you've got clothing that's meant to be seen... It's only ever going to be seen under torchlight or candlelight. You pick a lot brighter colors because they show up as jewel tones then. Like, you pick some, like, god-awful, like, bright teal that, like, would look fine to us nowadays, but, like, you know, is, like, weird and, like, kind of gross-looking is, that's, like, so bright. But you look at it under torchlight, and it's, like, this beautiful, deep color. So he also does a lot of, like, that kind of work for the kind of people like himself who only ever really work at night.
Mm-hmm. The other question that I have, which is just very important to me, is... Does he have music on while he works, or like what's the ambiance? What's the sound inside this tailor shop?
So part of me wants to be like, oh, of course it's like classical music, like his favorite stuff from like the Baroque period from when he lived through it or whatever. But part of me also wants it to be like trashy pop music in this like very old fashioned tailor shop. It's like trashy pop music, like in like fucking Carly Rae Jepsen type stuff.
Good.
Incredible.
Thank
you.
I love my dumb trash baby so much.
I do also love this idea that I have, which is that Ruben comes banging into the shop and goes, "Oh, so I hear you took my advice in music."
Garion's just like, beg your pardon? Excuse me? Hello? I'm working with a customer right now.
Oh.
And he sort of like moves his hands and like a get out. Don't scare away my fucking customers. Maybe he he tailors his music tastes towards like who's in the shop at the time.
That's a thought. Is it like a magical stereo that tailors towards who's in the shop at the time?
I was gonna say it's like you know when a Lyft driver has like 10 different like playlists that they choose depending on who gets into their car.
Yes,
it's like that, but it's magical, so he can tell
like
it's like a fucking magical Amazon Echo or whatever, where you just tell it to pick a particular playlist or particular like mood, and it'll play.
Yeah. I think that Ruben is walking with their cane today. Cause the leg is a lot. For those of you who don't know anything about Ruben Murdoch, they are a werewolf, they are an asshole, they have one silver leg, and they constantly look like their science experiments have gone wrong. Remember when I said people who don't work in the plaza sometimes do science?
Yeah.
You were thinking of Ruben.
Ruben's one of them. You get a Ruben. I think they have a bag over one wrist that has a Reuben sandwich in it because I think that's funny.
That's always funny.
I think they come to lunch. Well, and it's funny because every time they come to Garion's shop, they bring lunch.
And it's like 8 p.m. Why are you here with your lunch? Ruben has no sleep schedule to speak of, so
Yeah, no. And Ruben's like, I may have wrecked the coat again, but you're with a customer, so I will just go sit in the back room with my sandwich and wait.
if you get anything on any of the fabrics back there, I will be murdering you.
Yes, yes. You say this every time, and I have yet to get any sauerkraut on any of your on any of your
Any of my
fabric.
sandwiches, huh?
On
So-
any of your sandwiches.
Fine, whatever. Go hang out in my apartment. I don't care. Because, like, the back room is, like, the stairs up to Garion's house. Like, he lives here.
Oh, Ruben's gonna go sit on those stairs.
Fucking asshole.
Yeah. That might be it. That might
That's
be the whole scene.
I love it. I love these dumb idiots.
Mhm.
I just love them. I love when I get to make them interact with each other because Garion is so tired of Ruben all the time.
Garion's just really tired all the time in general.
Yeah, that's true.
Old baby. That's the only true name I came up with during that.
Here's another one. Just please give them a break. Give him
Yeah.
a break. Can Garion have a break, please?
There we go. Someone else format that.
We got you.
Thank you.
I guess it's my turn.
Yes.
Yeah. I've got another resident idea that I'm interested in. You know, the thing about finding light in darkness is sometimes that is very literal, and sometimes that is very metaphorical, and sometimes it's very nebulous whether it is one or the other or both. And I think at the base of the fungal tree, there's, in some ways, I don't even know if you can really call them that much of a resident. They're sort of just an entity is also maybe kind of a strong word. Let's talk about humus. Humus is the soil that kind of, at the base of the fungal tree and the garden surrounding it. I think as people have, tended to the tree and tended to the gardens, I think that they've discovered that the soil has something of a personality.
I fucking love that shit.
I love this.
I don't know if they're like really, I'm interested in exploring this as a form of personhood or kind of an entity that is something that we can't really fully comprehend, but is still present and still, like its existence is still there. Like people know that humus is around and is a thing and exists, but I don't know if they really know how it works. The pronouns are, I think, they, them, and it, its. I would love to just go around the table and just spitball, like, rumors or encounters or theories or just experiences that people have had interacting with humus.
I mean, my brain immediately goes towards the decay as an extant form of life. All that humus is it's the like rich, fertile soil created by decomposition and by like composting, and the sort of symbiotic relationship that I feel like there are definitely a bunch of people who are like tending to it, and like there are like a couple of people who are very in tune with the soil and maybe able to communicate with it. You know, like maybe you don't have to be a particular type of person to communicate with the humus, but there are a particular type of people who want to and who actively seek out these interactions and communications. Is that anything?
Yeah, that makes sense. But
Yeah, I think that's good.
I mean, the thing is, like, I don't know, I compost at home, and my compost is perfectly normal, but the last time I went to the fungal tree, I was picking some small mushrooms just to, take home for a salad later that evening, and there was just this one snarl of weeds that I couldn't get out, and I was just pulling at it, and I was tugging, but it felt like the ground, like, shuddered underneath me, and the weeds just, like, flung out, like they were, like, launched from the sky, and I don't know, it like, landed in my face, like, I got a whole bunch of dirt in my face, and as I was trying to, clear the dirt away and pick up the mushrooms that had kind of fallen out of my basket, it almost, I felt like there was just the faintest hint of, like, somebody chuckling or you like laughing almost in a playful way. Have any of you ever had an experience like that with humus?
I mean, it's not like it's more of in a different direction, I guess. But I did my mom passed a couple years ago now, and I went down, and I don't even really know what I was thinking I was going to do, but I was just kind of going around the gardens, seeing if people would let me plant her favorite flowers in places, and I feel like when I planted them under the fungal tree, it was the place where they grew the best, in a way that I wasn't really expecting, because, there's already so many plants and fungi there. I was sure that they were going to get, kind of overridden, or overrun, rather, and they didn't, which was pretty nice to see. Kind of like someone was looking out for me, I guess.
Yeah, I've always heard that, like, if you left a gift behind, that the next time you go through, that the humus would, like, totally give you a gift back, but I don't know about spitting weeds out. Probably they didn't like the gift that you gave them last time.
It's kind of like a crow like that. Sometimes it'll give me, like, bottle caps and stuff. Like, it's pretty fun.
Yeah, I mean, that, I think, gives me a real sense of this character. What do I want to do for the true name? I think their true name is A Gentle Hug in the Soil, Too Large to See, but Always Felt.
Hug. The idea that I had flew out of my mind. Oh, I remember what it was. So I had an idea for a neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what it's called. The underground parts of the city. Not just necessarily like, if there is any subway tunnels, like, definitely the subway tunnels, but also just, like, networks of tunnels and the underground residential neighborhoods, and just this kind of web that has been woven of this almost mirrored, but not quite, city that just kind of, and they intermingle with the above ground folk, obviously. A lot of people who live down there work up topside, but, it is kind of like a ghostly echo of what is up above, just underground. And some people just kind of like that darkness a little bit more.
Yeah.
I'm trying to decide where I want to put my landmark while Mac finishes up that neighborhood.
I still don't know what to call it. I could go in the spider's direction since I've called it a web.
Mm-hmm.
I think actually calling it spider web. Someone please format this. My children are dying.
All of your spider
My children are ill, my crops are dying. Sorry, I got real dramatic there.
So all of your spider children are dying.
All of my thousands of spider children.
Spider babies.
That's about what I got, so whenever, just in case. I'm not, no pressure, Mab.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go ahead and stick it. I'm gonna go ahead and stick it on the docks. So the idea that I had for the landmark is kind of like a little memorial that every so often like there will always be like candles lit there for, you know, sailors lost at the lake, or, you know, one reason or another they tend to congregate down at the docks themselves, even though it isn't always just for sailors. So the name of it is Sea of Stars. The address is on a lone and broken jetty, a mound of stones erected to hold the candles of those who have passed. And its true name is Half-Melted Stubs and the Scorched Remains of Flames Long Since Spent.
Mab, we gotta remember that so that we can put it in the City of Gulls.
That's good. I love that.
Love it.
Events.
Oh, actually. Oh, sorry, never mind. I, was reading a rule thing, but I forgot to mention it earlier. Never mind.
Okay. So this is the last event, and I want it to be like a nighttime festival. Maybe something like, I can't remember the name of it, but where you put little lanterns out and float them out on the water.
Mm-hmm.
It's a Japanese festival, I believe. And my brain's not working and I can't think of what it's called. Sort of something like that, but like not so sort of culturally tied, where people sort of related to the, where'd it go?
It's like Entangled.
Yes, like Entangled. Related to the Sea of Stars. It's like a festival that maybe that is... Actually, I think I like the idea of it's like a festival that is like centered around the whole concept that the Sea of Stars embodies throughout the year.
Mm-hmm.
Where, you know, people light a candle and set it over the water for the people who have passed on in the last year. And then maybe anything that is still left burning in the morning is collected and placed into the Sea of Stars.
Nice.
Yeah.
Like that. Oh, it's me.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm gonna... I guess this is a consequence? This is happening at the Sea of Stars, or is it happens across the city? Or...
I think it happens, like, across the city, but it is, like... I think it happens across the city, but it's sort of centered around the Sea of Stars. Like, the most people are there, but then as you sort of spread out along the shoreline, like, there's still a couple here and there. So, like, the main festival is sort of centered on the Sea of Stars, but...
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, in that case, I think this consequence is... I think the morning after, at the Sea of Stars, there's... I think people, you know, are coming to deposit some of the candles and the lanterns that they left overnight, and they see, curled around it, a small... It looks like a Donnybrook. It looks like the skeleton, but it's just a small... It's like a baby, almost. And it's just, you know, half submerged in the water and half kind of on the jetty, sleeping, kind of curled around the lanterns. And I think, you know, as people kind of deposit their candles and walk away, and as there's more activity throughout the day, the Donnybrook kind of wakes up. And I think some people are a little bit nervous, but it's very timid, and it's very kind, and just really sort of gentle in that way.
It's a baby!
It's a baby!
Yeah.
So I have a detail that leads into a question.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think that at the Sea of Stars, if you're okay with this, Mab, depending on the colors of candles that are, they're like the candles are colored in a way that gives them meaning, like based on like who the person that passed on was. And you can obviously make a candle that has like multiple layers of color so that it's, because no relationship is ever so cut and dry. And similarly with the lanterns. And the question that I have is that we saw a lantern float across the still waters of the lake that is a color that we have never seen a lantern or a candle be in before. Who lit that one, and what does it mean?
What is the color?
I think it's a shade that that the human eye can't see.
So how do we know it's there?
It's one of those things where it's like it's like, you know how dogs can have like more than just 3 cones in their eyes, so they see different shades of colors that we can't even dream to imagine. Or actually, it's not dogs. It's the other way around.
I don't think that's dogs. I think, but are you thinking
it's something else?
Mantis shrimp.
Mantis shrimp.
Yeah, shrimp. Yeah. You know how shrimp can see in more colors than we can?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that.
Okay. So maybe some of the non-human residents of the city can see it, but the humans can't.
Yes.
There we go.
Yes.
Huh.
Yeah, I was wondering, like, would it have been something that Ida had lit?
Maybe.
I don't know. We're leaving it open as a rhetorical question.
Okay. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Well, now it's my turn. I think a consequence is that, like, as this becomes, like, every year as the festival grows larger, as opposed to, like, it being just sailors and it expands to more and more people that are being honored, there's, like, an unintended consequence, but it's, it might be a good one, is that now there's more people who, especially around the date of the festival, like lantern makers are cropping up in the Twilight Market, and like more often than not, they're always new faces, and they'll maybe be around for 1 or 2 years, but it's never really. It's always kind of a mystery of, who's going to show up this year, and what kind of lanterns are they going to bring, and where do they come from? Who knows? But in that case, it's always just kind of like an influx throughout the Twilight Market of new vendors, and always just a shit ton of lanterns and candles of all different types, and like custom made, and like the ability to go and like commission a candle specifically. But it does kind of like drive out normal operating business because it is so surrounded on this big festival.
I like it. What am I supposed to put for the second part of the event? Just like the consequences that we came up with, or like the question?
Yeah, just like another perspective.
Yeah.
Like, we've looked at it from this one angle. Is there an underside? Is there a second half that we're not seeing? Yeah.
Nice. And is that us wrapped up?
Yeah. Ending the session.
Damn, I think that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, after the final player takes their turn, the session's over.
It's a nice place to bring it to a close, like thinking about the mourning of the dead, but also the new beginnings and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
After the final player takes their turn, the session is over. Take time to debrief with your table. Go around the table and highlight aspects of the session that you enjoyed and contributions from your fellow players that delighted or surprised you. Thank everyone for their time. Hey guys, we did a good game.
Hey guys,
Yeah.
we
Hey,
made a good
this
city.
is a great city. This is a great city.
Shit.
We
Guys-
still haven't named it. Fuck.
Maybe we should close out with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe we should.
Fuck it, city name generator.
We're good at naming cities.
I don't know, I really like that, we started with kind of looking at the technological aspects of it, but we also really wound up leaning into the magic as well.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't really just kind of one or the other. There was something really satisfying about that kind of synthesis.
This is a great name that I don't even want to try and pronounce.
What is this? Star Wars? Trasufium wood?
That's good.
Uh,
I mean, it's not. I don't know if
Vesuvian wood?
I'm feeling it for this city, but it is a good name in general.
yeah, it's definitely a word.
It's a word.
It's something.
Mm-hmm. But could the city be a wood or a grove or like something grove or something wood?
You know what I like? What if it's a veil?
Could be a veil.
Yeah.
Veil really has that liminality to it
Yeah.
that I feel like we've really kind of been exploring in interesting ways.
What kind of veil do we want? What are the veil vibes?
I don't know.
I'm just trying to look back over our cards and see if there's anything
that sticks out.
I don't know. I was thinking about
We call ourselves the Serpent's Landing.
Could we play into Donnybrook?
Donnybrook could be, yeah. Or like something with jewel tones. I felt like that metaphor of kind of the finding the light in the darkness.
I mean, the jeweled veil sounds kind of cool.
Hmm.
Jeweled veil. Veil of jewels.
Everyone goes instantly silent.
I'm trying to think of good words while I peel my orange.
I'm just trying to think of like any words at all. It's been a long game. It's been a long day, and my brain's not working anymore.
Yeah, no, fair enough. I'm in the same
That's
boat.
true. Yeah, I mean, Jewel Veil that's got a nice ring to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did it. We came up with a name.
We did it.
So yeah, and it does have that light and kind of kinetic in the way that like you're reflecting the light through a jewel or something like that as well.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
The way a crystal turns in a window.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that energy is definitely warm, bright, and kinetic.
Yes.
Yeah.
Go us.
Let's
That's
record our outro.
the
maybe.
game.
Yeah.
Yay, we did it!
We did it.
We did it.
We made a city!
This was
Yeah.
we made a city.
This was a lot of fun. I really liked this.
Yeah, this was really good. I love this game a lot.
Thank you. I'm so glad that y'all enjoyed it.
Thank you for coming to play with us.
Of course.
And thank you to our listeners for listening to this episode.
Yeah. Let's close it out. I've been Mac. You can find me on Twitter at Citadel of Swords. You can find my games at citadelofswords.itch.io. You can find us, the podcast, at FTLcast on Twitter or at FTLcast.com, our Patreon at patreon.com/FTLcast. And you can find Standing Stones, the podcast guild that we are one half of. At the current moment, we're one half, at Stones_standing on Twitter.
I'm Caro. You can find me on Twitter, Patreon, and itch.io at C-Excursion, spelled S-E-A Excursion. Thank you all for having me.
You can get this game on itch.
Yeah.
At excursion.itch.io. Go get it. It looks amazing.
There's such
it looks
cute
so
art in it.
good.
It looks so good.
Yeah.
The colors,
Mhm.
ugh.
I know, I love those
Shout outs
colors.
to Shannon Cow, the artist who did all of the interior illustrations. Her work is very good.
Her work is so good. So good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and I'm Mab. You can find me on Twitter and Tumblr at Little Lady Mab, doing shenanigans.
I've been Sam. You can find me on Twitter at SAKalo, and you can find my art at samkalo.art.
Woohoo!
Yeah, we did it.
We did it. Let's
yeah.
clap.
I think that's it. Let's clap.
Yeah.
It's August, and I just wanted to thank you for listening. If you've enjoyed us, please consider leaving a rating on your podcast platform of choice, telling your friends about us, or tweeting about us using the FTLcast hashtag. We are also part of a nonprofit podcasting guild called Standing Stones Productions. We do a variety of shows, including The Room Where It Happened and Dumb Kids Playing Hero, 2 actual play shows, and a Steven Universe discussion podcast called Gay Space Rocks. We also do live streams at twitch.tv/standingstonesprod. You can keep up with everything that we do on Twitter at stones_standing. Unfortunately, Standing Stones was already taken. Your support means a lot. Thanks again!